Well, hello everybody, and welcome back into the shed. My name's Ian. I know you've not been in here for a few weeks, and you've probably not seen me around so much on YouTube. Main reason is I broke my phone. It's not totally broke. I mean, I'm filming on it now, but it's not right. Big crack across the middle. The home button doesn't work, and the microphone can be a bit dodgy, as well as the speakers. It's not much of a good phone, really, is it? So anyway, I got involved in a project, which more of that in a few minutes. I'm just going to give you a quick show of scrap life. It's one another reason why I've been busy. The place is building up on scrap, and I need to work on it. In the background here, I'll show you. So in the background here, we've got e-waste Mike, who's live at the moment. So I'll be watching him, and I've also got Cruiser Mac. His playlist is running. Both of these guys I'll be running all the time. Cruiser, I've been running 8 hours a day at work. He's trying to build his hours up. Simply Shannon and MBA, they also need to build their hours up. So I'll leave them running. I've got him on mute. I've told him I'm going to have to mute him. I can't have him putting a strike on me. And let's move into the into here. As I was telling Gaffer Hines, you know, I've got very little workbench space at the moment. The way I work, the stuff comes in, limited space, I break it down into components, don't necessarily totally strip it. But there comes a point where your sacks, and your sacks, all have got to be emptied and stripped down to what they are. Here I've got cable, which my yard will take as household cable. That one as well. There's some lovely copper. Oops. Got my e-waste. I don't know what to do with that with. Building up my aluminium, as I weighed in all my alley just a short while ago. This is what my yard will take as low grade cable, my iron pile. This is stuff which I need to strip. Got my brass. So this is what I tend to do. I just throw it in a tub. So all my brass, copper, so all the good stuff I throw in tubs. That one there. Oh, there's another one here, and then at a certain point I've got to tip that onto here and separate it into the brass, different types of copper, and all the plugs. Our yards don't take them on the cable, but they will take them. They don't give you much, £150 a ton. Most of us, including like me and Snobby Scrapper, all of us, take the brass pins out. Right, and I've got another bag of assorted cable. I can see some circuitry in there, a little bit of brass and all sorts at the bottom of that. That's better. I've put you on the tripod. It's hard talking, keeping your arm out like that and trying to keep it still. I've just watched a video by Recycle Jude. He just stripped was quite a big 17-inch CRT monitor, and he makes a point saying, is it worth your while? If you've got to do it for a living, like many of you scrappers do, especially Scrap Kingdom, and no, it's not. You know, if you're a hobbyist like myself, I mean, I've got a full-time job, and this is a hobby, and it makes money. So I'm good for that. I ain't kind of therapeutic. Go for it. As I said to Recycle Dude, listen, somebody can go fishing for hours and hours and hours and not catch any fish. Go home and think they've had a good day. Or good golfing. You know, whacking a little ball around the field all day. They're getting something out of it. I'm getting something out of this. And I've said it many a time before. You come across something you've never seen before, you can take it bits and see how it works. That ties in nicely to what I said earlier about my little project. So let's go and have a sit down and I'll tell you all about it. That's a bit better. Look at these old bones sitting down. Right, this little project I had going. I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to try and talk, think about what clips I'm going to stick in, and then carry on talking and try and edit it together and make something vaguely interesting to anybody. So, a couple of years ago, I had this task of separating about 4 or 5 ton of soil and stone chippings. I decided I would make a trammel. You have to look what a trammel is. It was a little bit beyond me, and then I had this brainwave. Well, they already make something like a trammel. It's called a concrete cement mixer. So you got a motor and it turns a drum. So I had a quick look on the local buy and sell, and I found this petrol driven cement mixer. The price was next to nothing. I think it was £40, I think it was. So I bought it, took the drum off, built a cage out of a washing machine. Washing machine drum, and it did the job for me. No time. Throwing the stone in and the soil. The thing was whizzing round. The stones broke the soil up, and the soil dropped out of the holes in the washing machine drum. So I decided, once I'd done the job, yeah, fine, put it back together and sell it. I think it's about over here. These petrol-driven cement mixers, they go for quite a bit of money. You can pick them up, you can sell them for 150, 200, 300 pounds. And the one I'd bought was quite a good make. It wasn't, it was it was builder's quality. Not one of these from Urban Freight or B&Q or what we have over here. So I started doing it up, and it turned into a big long thing. When I took the drum off, I had no intentions of reselling it, so I cut the drum off. So I ended up welding the drum back on. Decided I'd do a YouTube video on it, a restoration. So I started to totally strip it down to bare metal, prime it, paint it. And believe me, getting dried on concrete off ain't easy. I used brick acid, I used grinders, I used hammer and chisel. I did it, and there is some footage. Now this is going on over about 18 months, and it's a big thing. And if you've been seeing me on my live shows, or whilst I've been on Hazeydaze or Hazeydaze in 1969, you'll have probably seen it knocking around in the garage. Well, I need the space. It had to go. I decided to finish it. So put some effort into it, sprayed it, put it together, and then by stroke of luck, I got a buyer. I say stroke of luck, it was a friend of mine. So, because I'm doing it for a friend, I put more effort into it than I ought to have done. And it took me even more time than if I had just slapped it together and sold it. Got it together, stuck the motor on, pulled it, wouldn't start. I've never worked on a small engine. I don't know about small engines. Fortunately, I do know a very good person who knows a lot of things about small engines, and that is you, Dizzy. I went through the rigmarole, testing for a spark, taking the carb off, cleaning it all. The jet was blocked. The petrol was old. The petrol was 9 months old, so that didn't work. Pressed petrol, put it together, boom, started running. Here's a clip. Winner, winner. Guy's mouthing at me, can I come and pick this up at the weekend? I said, yeah, look, it's running. About 2 or 3 minutes later, after I put the phone down, a horrible rattling noise come from it, and the pull starter mechanism had fell to bits by the end it was running. And I didn't know how it went back together because all the bits had fell out. I tell you, I probably spent 3 hours trying to put that thing together, and it's next to nothing. It's only about 4 pieces. I went online, I found an exploded diagram that showed me how it should go together. I shouted out for help. You Dizzy again came through, told me what to do, but me not being so bright didn't do it quite right. He went off, he was bit happy. Don't forget, this is like 10 AM for me, so that's 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning for him. I missed him, shouted out, got some more help. Phoned my mate up, said, nah, I can't get it going. Went in and had a brew, come back out. And literally, these 2 dogs that fly out, one's got a very smooth side, one's not as smooth. And I had the smooth side up, which meant the not so quite a smooth side was dragging on the plastic. A little bit too much friction. Once I turned them over, swapped them over, put it back together, bang, fired up, the thing was running, get on the phone, come and pick it up, never want to see it again. I got back more than what I paid, but the amount I got extra would say only covered the materials I used to fix it. So I actually spent at least 15 hours on the thing for nothing. And so the way I look at it, I learned something. You go to college, you go to evening school, you go to night school, you put time in and you learn something. You don't necessarily get anything out of it. So that's the way I'm looking at it. So, YouTube community, pull through. Again, thank you very much, you Dizzy and Hazeydaze. And that's that. Right, enough of that. Alt, Ben, whiskey. Oh, you can see that there. Well, I'm not going to have time to do that whiskey tasting tonight. 2 weeks ago, if you've been following me, I went up and I surprised my son who was in the army, and the army was doing a march through the city. I went up, took a lot of photos, a lot of video footage. I know I'm repeating myself, I said all this in my last video, but I've been scratching my head. I just don't know how to put it all together to make a coherent video that won't bore you lot to sleep. So anyway, I'm just going to split it up into some sections. There's a drink section, of course, so I think I'll do that first. And then there's the all about the army doing a display in the town, so culminating in the march. So I think I'll do that. And of course, Ripon town is an ancient town. They've got a big cathedral, which I think it was originally built in 630 AD, so it's 1300 years old. So I've got quite a bit of footage of that. too much for one little video, too much for one video. Anyway, I'll pull my finger out and I'll start, and then see how we go. So hopefully, alright, bored you enough. See you lot in one of these vids coming shortly. Catch you in them. Ian, in shed. See you next time.